About 75 days ago, I decided to do a health challenge called 75 Hard. Here's how it started, and here is how I finished. Not too shabby, right? Now, if you're someone like me who is always looking for an edge, always looking for that next level, look no further, because this is a challenge that will not only make you a better leader at work, it will make you a better mother or father, better husband or wife. It will make you more money in your career or business. It will help you gain more confidence and self-esteem. It will definitely help you shed some pounds and transform your mindset in the process. And the best part of it, it's free $99, my favorite price tag. So if that is of interest to you, in today's video, I'm going to go over what is this challenge, what does it consist of, what my biggest tips and takeaways were, and at the very end, I'll share, at least for me, my secret to successfully completing the challenge the first go around. What's going on, you guys? Medier here, and welcome back to my channel where I talk all things mindset, money, and market updates to help you on your wealth building journey to becoming a millionaire and beyond. Before diving into today's video, don't forget to enter my monthly contest and giveaway where I pick one lucky winner at the end of every month to win a free 2-night stay at a suite in my hotel in beautiful Lake Tahoe, California. All you have to do to enter is to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below done once you have completed those things. I want to give a big shout out to last month's winner, Ashley June, and I want to thank everyone who entered the contest. Okay, so to the 75 Hard Challenge. To give you guys a little backstory on how this all came about, at the beginning of every year, I like to do something that is going to challenge me. It's gonna really set the tone for the year and build up that grit, that momentum that I want to carry throughout the year. In the past, I've done spiritual retreats, I've done physical health challenges like CrossFit, training for races, yoga challenges, I've done keto and other nutritional challenges. And so when I started thinking about what I wanted to do this year, I've been a fan of Andy Frisella's content and his podcast and his brand over the past few years. And every time I thought about doing this 75 Hard Challenge that I kept hearing about, I would always think of the perfect excuse not to. Not sure if you can relate to that. But at the end of 2020, I looked back and I'd gotten a little bit fluffier. My discipline had really slipped a lot. I was drinking more often than I normally do, as I'm not really a big drinker in the first place, but my wife and I, we were enjoying some nice bottles and glasses of wine, and I just felt like my momentum was headed in the wrong direction, and I wanted to swing that pendulum back in the other direction. So what better way to do that than a health challenge? Health for me is a big pillar in my life, and as I kept doing all my research on which challenge I wanted to do, I kept thinking about this 75 Hard Challenge. Not because I wanted to do this challenge, but more so because I didn't want to do it. And when I find myself hiding or running from something, that's usually a sign, at least for me, that I need to go ahead and do it. I need to lean in and face whatever that thing is. So that's what I did. With this year, I pick a theme every single year, and my theme this year is weaponized. And to me, weaponized means being hyper-focused and disciplined and dangerous in all areas of my life and business, which many of you know I talk about this all the time on my podcast, Millionaire Mindcast, which focuses on being a whole life millionaire, not just somebody who's got millions of dollars in their bank account, but lives like a millionaire in all areas of their life as well. So in order to weaponize myself to start out 2021, I decided on the 75 Hard Challenge, because the only way to weaponize yourself is to put in the work, to do the hard work, to do those things, and to go to battle with yourself every single day and find ways to win those battles. And over the last few years, I've become a big fan of Andy Frisella and his podcast and his brand altogether. So I started doing some research on the challenge, and basically, here's what the 75 Hard Challenge is. It is 1 gallon of water a day. It is 2 workouts a day, 45 minutes minimum, and one of those workouts has to be outside. You can do both outside if you want, but a minimum, one has to be outside. You need to read 10 pages out of a physical book, personal development book. You need to pick a diet, any diet, but pick a diet for that 75 days, no cheat meals, and no alcohol. And the last thing, take a daily progress picture. And that's it. It's pretty simple. And that's one of the things that I really loved about this challenge. Even though it's hard to do this 75 days straight, there's some flexibility to it. You can choose what diet you want to stick to. You can choose how and when you want to do your workouts. You can choose what book you want to read, but that is the framework, at least, that you have to play within. And the key to it all is if you miss one of these things in any capacity on any daily basis, you have to start all the way back at day one. You read 9 pages instead of 10 on day 39, guess what? You're going back to day one. You drink 120 ounces of water instead of a gallon on day 60, guess what? You go back to day one. There's no cheating, and this is solely based on the honor system. Now, I'm proud to say that my first go around, I flawlessly completed the challenge and saw massive physical transformation, as you can see here, going from day 1 to day 75. But more importantly, the mental and spiritual growth that I've experienced is what I'm even more grateful for. Now, don't get me wrong, I do look damn good naked right now, and let's be honest, who doesn't like to look good naked in the mirror? Have your partner or spouse throwing some googly eyes your way. But in all seriousness, what I'm more proud of and thankful for is the mental hurdles and challenges that I was able to overcome mentally throughout the 75 days of this challenge. I'm not gonna lie, this challenge was hard as hell. Now, it sounds pretty simple, and it is, but at the end of the day, it is extremely challenging. And Andy says, guess what, guys? This isn't called 75 easy. It's called 75 hard for a reason. Not only is it hard to string together 75 days of anything, but to have 75 days of physical discipline and execution, right? It's even harder to win the mind warfare that's going on up in your head for those 75 days straight, and not have to start all the way over back at ground zero if you miss something. So now that you guys understand what the challenge is and you're still thinking, hey, maybe I want to do this, let's talk real fast about some of the tips and the takeaways I've had over the last 75 days. First, let's start with some of the tips to ensure a successful challenge for you. Tip number 1, get clarity. Keyword, clarity in your routine. I've always been a big routine guy. I like to find rhythms, right? Because I can plug into those and keep those going. I live and die by my calendar. So if you can get a clear idea on what your plan is, when you're going to work out, what meals you're going to eat, when you're going to read, etc., then all you have to do is schedule those into your plan and get clarity in your routine. And then at that point, it just becomes a game of execution because you know exactly what you need to do every single day. With the workouts and all the commitments in this challenge, in the beginning, I immediately started thinking of making excuses about how I was already so busy and how am I going to get this done, right? And it's gonna be so hard, it's gonna impede on my life, it's gonna be this or it's gonna be that, blah, 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 blah. But when I got clear on what my plan was and what that routine looked like, it became much less overwhelming. Tip number 2, bulletproof your environment and prepare ahead of time. I'm a big believer in this one because for me, if there are distractions, if there are temptations around, I'm a weak human being. It's most likely gonna get eaten, so get rid of all of those temptations. Get rid of the cookies and the junk food, and instead replace it with the things that are aligned with the goals that you've set for yourself. Now, because I chose the keto diet for my 75 hard challenge, I ordered a keto meal prep called Factor, which is awesome. I'll post that link down below in the description. They have all kinds of meals, not just keto friendly, but the meal prep was huge. And in general, I'm a big believer in preparation. And this was no different. Every night before I went to bed after finishing my stuff, I would lay out everything for the next day. So that way I was being proactive and on my toes instead of being reactive and chasing my tail the next day and really setting yourself up for failure. So I'd lay out all my gym clothes, I'd get my gallon of water ready, I'd have my meals ready for the next day, I'd have my book with all my stuff, and then I'd have my checklist and an alert scheduled and recurring every single day. So that way I could double and triple check that I got all my stuff done for that day. But on the days that I cut it close or struggled, it was honestly because I lacked in that planning and that preparation. And I didn't do what I needed to bulletproof myself, bulletproof my schedule, bulletproof my environment for success. Plan ahead. Tip number 3, front load your day. For me, this was huge, and here's why. The last thing you wanna do is have to do a workout, your second workout, at 9:30 at night, or to drink another 64 ounces of water at 10 p.m. at night before you go to bed. If you can get the majority of the heavy lifting of this challenge done early in your day, you're not only gonna be giving the best of you to the challenge, you're also going to be stacking wins earlier in your day, which is really gonna build that momentum for you to carry itself into other activities at work or parenting, other things that you're doing throughout your day. Front load as much of it as you can as early on in the day, and you will thank yourself. Tip number 4, measure and track. You can't manage what you don't measure. So I just kept a simple notes doc in my iPhone that I track all my stuff on to ensure that I didn't miss anything. And this is also where I kept all my progress photos. Tried to keep it simple, all in one place. Because I was doing keto, I didn't necessarily need to track my nutrition super closely. You're either in ketosis or not in ketosis, so that was somewhat easy. But for those looking to calorie count or watch the macros or other things, I love the app MyFitnessPal, super simple and easy. But overall, I would just suggest finding some framework or system that you can use to track your progress and keep your activities organized so that way you don't run the risk of missing anything. That's the key, right? It's all about the details. So make sure you have a system that you can keep as simple as possible, right? That you can use to keep you on track, and it's fun to look back on when all is said and done to see how much ground you've covered because you've got the data to show it. Okay, now let's just talk about some quick takeaways that I learned through this process that you can benefit from as well. These were powerful for me, so hopefully these can be helpful and powerful for you too. Number 1, the drunk monkey. Through this process, I learned that my bitch voice, as Andy calls it, is loud, it is obnoxious, it is active, and it is not going anywhere. It showed up every damn day of this challenge. And we all have this voice in our heads that is always looking to justify us not doing something, that voice that wants to rationalize all of our excuses. It's okay to hit the snooze button, your body needs that rest, right? You've had that conversation with yourself before. Or, hey, you just had a stressful day at work, you deserve that drink. It's raining outside, you don't want to get sick, just stay in, forget about the workout. The list goes on and on and on, right? And one of the big things that this challenge taught me is that there will never be a perfect time or ideal circumstance to do the hard things that need getting done. You just have to find ways to win those battles in your head in that conversation. But when you do, and in this case, when you win 75 days in a row of those tough conversations and you win over that bitch voice over and over and do the things that must be done in order to win, even in times when you don't want to do them, it builds a level of grittiness, this level of self-esteem like no other. Winning those battles time and time again will make you a very dangerous person in a good way, because that discipline is going to turn you into a Terminator that literally believes you can do anything. Whatever you get put in front of you, you're going to get it done. And you know why? Because you kept your commitment to yourself over and over, even when you had a million excuses and reasons why you didn't want to. And at the root of all of that is a key word that I live my life by, which is integrity. And I don't know about you, but when I'm living in integrity, I have a whole nother level of love and respect for myself. And that's a pretty amazing feeling that I did not expect to get from this challenge. Takeaway number 2 was around alcohol. Now, for me personally, I've always been a social drinker, maybe drink 1 to 2 times a week, maybe even go a couple weeks without drinking at all. It's usually when I'm at social events, and because I'm a social person, I was stuck on this part at the beginning of the challenge being a big limitation since I had some events and conferences that I was attending during this 75 days. My family loves getting together and eating good food. We love to drink good wine, have some nice cocktails. So I was really hung up on this for some reason, but I made the commitment, and I have to say I didn't miss drinking one bit. The first maybe couple days or weekends, it was, took some getting used to, but it actually changed my outlook on drinking a bit and made me realize that I don't need to have it in order to have a good time or to be social. And when everyone else was hungover or feeling rough the next day, I woke up feeling fresh and energized. So all in all, the no drinking throughout this challenge was a huge win for me, and it could be a big win for you as well. Number 3, my next takeaway was around leadership and influence. I wasn't aware of the ripple effect this challenge would have. And what I mean by this is by leading yourself and sharing your journey with others, you're naturally going to inspire others along the way. I can't tell you how many people had reached out to me on a daily basis saying how my journey and my transformation was inspiring them. And I was honestly shocked by how many of you started this 75 Hard Challenge just because I shared my journey with it. So don't underestimate your power to influence and inspire others by taking action and sharing your journey along the way. The other big win was how this impacted my family. We all ate healthier over those 75 days. Everyone was way more active. There were days that I'd get home and literally my girls would say, "Okay, Dad, it's time to go on your 75 hard workout outside." And they would want to go and participate with me. And it was amazing, honestly. And the reason I bring this up is people are always watching and observing. And when you're doing the right things, it can make all the difference and change someone else's life for the better as well. So don't be shy to share your progress and your journey with others. Not only will this challenge transform you, it's amazing to see the ripple effect it can have and that you can have by inspiring and changing other people's lives for the better too. My last aha from this was around momentum. The wave of momentum that I feel like I'm riding right now is the biggest that I've ever felt in my life. It feels massive. And the thing about momentum is you can't see it, you can't touch it, but you can definitely feel it. You know when it's working for you or against you. And this challenge will help you build momentum in your life in a great way like you've never felt before. I've got more real estate deals than ever before. I'm buying another hotel up in Lake Tahoe. I've got some amazing flips going on right now. I'm working on some iconic private equity deals that I would have never imagined I'd be involved in. I'm moving the needle forward on some ground up developments. I'm working with some insanely talented investors as my coaching clients. The podcast is on fire with downloads the highest they've ever been. My health is on fire. My relationship with my wife and my daughters is the best it's ever been, right? This is the best I've ever felt, and I attribute it to the challenge. And this is because of the work I put in every day on this challenge. It's because when you do the little things consistently over and over again, they eventually turn into really big things, and momentum plays a huge role in that. So if you're feeling momentum working against you right now, this is the perfect challenge to swing that pendulum back in the other direction. Okay, before we close this video out, I promised that at the end of the video, I'd share with you, at least for me, what my secret to successfully completing this challenge was the first go around, and that was none other than my accountability group. Having people that I was accountable to, proving that I was doing what I said I was going to do, was the key component for me completing this challenge successfully. I highly recommend you find a group or a person who you can be accountable to because it really will make a huge difference. So there you have it. That was my experience in a nutshell. I just wanted to thank you guys. So many of you who have consistently hit me up, so many of you who have checked on me, supported me, inspired me. Thank you. It means so much. If you got some value from this video or you want more content on how to live like a millionaire in all areas of your life, be sure to subscribe to my channel, smash that like button, let YouTube know there's some value in here. Drop me a comment down below saying what up, and until next video, happy investing.